Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jason, and today we're going to be waging war on three of the biggest myths surrounding sensory challenges. Sensory challenges like ADHD, anxiety, sensory processing disorder, even autism. And you know what? If 32 kids in Washington have the measles and it makes national news, I think we should be talking about these things too, maybe even more, because 1 in 38 boys have autism. Not 38, 1 in 38. 1 in 4 children have a chronic illness. 1 in 9 children have asthma. 1 in 6 children have a learning disability. 1 in 5 children have a defined mental disorder. And the idea that we don't know what's going on out there is simply not true anymore. So we're going to be tackling those three biggest myths, waging war on those three biggest myths today. The first myth is we don't really know what's going on. We don't know what's causing it. That's simply not true. And this is not a soapbox moment. There's not one cause for sensory challenges. There's not one cause for autism. There's a myriad of stresses that are bombarding our kids' brains and nervous system almost on a guaranteed daily basis. There's different types of stressors. And ultimately, we have to define what a sensory challenge is before we actually talk about how did we even get here. A sensory challenge is when a brain or a child's nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. The fight or flight process, the sensory spectrum is the spectrum of spectrum disorders. We know exactly what it is. For some reason, a lot of reasons, a myriad of reasons, these kids' brains got stuck in the fight or flight spectrum. That's exactly what it is. But how do we even get here? Why would the body ever even go in fight or flight? Well, there's really only 3 types of stressors. And now we're talking about the root causes of sensory challenges and neurodevelopmental disorders. There's physical stressors. Let's talk about birth traumas. Let's not pretend that that day is just a big day for mom. It's a huge day for that baby. A lot of things really need to go right. And unfortunately, a lot of things are going wrong in the birth process in America. The average C-section puts upwards of 60 to 80 pounds of pulling on that baby's delicate neck and brainstem. We've seen kids with torticollis, with misshapen heads, plagiocephaly. The birth is a traumatic experience for a lot of babies. I'm not bashing C-sections. It's just the physical reality of these things. I have 5 boys. They daily have wipeouts. There's physical stressors that every child goes through. And if you go through the common medical machine, you're guaranteed those stressors from the day you're born. Physical stressors, chemical stressors. Our environment is laced with chemicals. Our diet is laced with chemicals. It's hard to eat healthy. In fact, eating natural is borderline weird these days. You have to do a lot of extra effort, spend a lot of extra money. It's in our diet, it's in our medications, it's in our environment. It's everywhere. Those are chemical types of stressors. The third type of stress is emotional stressors. And let's not pretend that we're getting that right either in American society. The divorce rates are rampantly high. The stress rates in kids are stuck in classrooms and school desks all day. They're not be able to play. They're not eating natural foods. There's physical, there's chemical, there's emotional stressors just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing in. At some point, that brain cannot adapt, so it kicks into the fight or flight spectrum, the sensory spectrum, the actual spectrum of spectrum disorders. So we're abolishing that myth. Myth number 1 down the tubes. We know exactly what it is, and now we might come up with a plan to actually get out of it. The second myth that we hear often from doctors, especially from our friends and our peers, they'll grow out of it. That's myth number 2. A lot of times they're not going to grow out of it, they're going to grow into it. A lot of these kids are born traumatically, so they lead off with colic, reflux, constipation, but they'll grow out of it. Well, they don't always grow out of it. Sometimes they grow out of it, but they might actually grow into future digestive challenges or a weak immune system. And now here come the ear infections. But you know what? Hey, mom, they're going to grow out of that too. Maybe. But after multiple rounds of antibiotics, destroying that child's gut and immune system and damaging the nerve system even further, they don't grow out of ear infections. They grow into allergies and asthma, which grows into steroid use, which grows into bigger challenges down the road. A lot of times when that nervous system's distracted, overwhelmed, and bombarded by all these sensory stressors, yeah, they're unable to focus in class, but you know what? It's just the 3rd grade. They'll probably grow out of it. But they don't necessarily grow out of focus issues. They grow into ADHD. And now we're taking pills for that. And now we're going into more powerful medications. Talk to your local sheriff and drug enforcement agency and ask for their thoughts on Adderall. It is the new gateway drug. And again, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying we're not necessarily growing out of these issues. And more often than not, we're growing into these issues. And the last thing is there's nothing to really address the cause of these things. We just talked about the causes of these things. It's not just about eliminating stressors in our environment. It's about eliminating the ultimate stress on inside of us. We live our lives through this thing called a brain and a nervous system. It desperately wants to adapt and heal and move forward and grow. But you're not going to grow out of these things. You have to grow into the possibility and to the knowledge that you can and will be better, especially your kids. When we adjust the nervous system in our practice, we're removing those neurological irritations. We can't remove the stress from the birth. It already happened. We can't remove all the chemical toxins from the environment. We can try those things, but we have to remove the stressors from the inside so that we can better adapt to the outside. Those are 3 of the major myths that hopefully we can abolish. But again, I'm not about attacking information. I'm about uplifting kids and making sure they live the best life possible. If this video has been any value to you, yes, click, like, share the video. But we have a workshop coming up this February 7th, this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. I will comment in the links below. Make sure you come to that workshop. If you can't attend, we have a live version of it that'll be running online through Facebook. But if you know anybody, any parent, any mom that desperately needs to get this information, we're going to dive very deep into all these different strategies, but most importantly, give every single parent a blueprint so that their child can live the best life possible. We can deal with myths, but I'd rather uplift children for the rest of my life. So you take care. Thank you so much for watching our video. Thank you again for sharing, and we'll see you soon at the workshop. Bye now.